broadcast, our podcast, making sure you'll never last. Sparks are flying, arcs are striking, subscribing and liking, your interest is spiking. If you're a fabricator, let us be a navigator. Routers and plasmas, the fourth state of matter. Lasers and welding, faster and faster. We're diving deep to help your minds get fatter.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. You know what I normally say, but welcome back to the podcast. I'm glad you're here, no matter where you are in the world. So I've got a great guest on with me today. I've actually been stalking him. I seen him on TikTok, and then jumped over to Instagram and seen what he's doing. And I think it's going to be awesome. So we'll be talking to a certified welder and fabricator, Eric Scott. He's in the North Carolina area here. So we'll bring him in and we'll get going. Remember, like and subscribe to the channel. If you're on the audio podcast, make sure you leave some comments, and we'll have all of his details below in the description. All right. So let me bring him on here. Hey, Eric, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Dean?
Good, man. So yeah, I'm sorry, man, to be like a stalker and stalk you on TikTok. I seen your stuff there and jumped over to Instagram and I'm like, man, this guy is, he's in the same mindset, right?
Yeah.
About helping people. So I wanted to get you to tell us about a bit about you and how you got started in welding and fabrication, and what certifications you currently hold, and what was the process like in getting started.
Right. Well, I started back in 2005. I went from construction, metal framing, that kind of thing. And then decided to move into the welding part. So ever since 2005 is when I really started. Really started at the bottom. I didn't know anything about it.
Yep.
Got a job. My first welding job was at a small fabrication shop that does handrails, gates, barn doors, barn windows, that kind of thing. And like I said, I was all new to it. Didn't know anything about how things work and all that good stuff. But I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of people show me some things. I try to take in as much as possible.
Yeah.
And as the more I've done it, I've done the production thing. And that's just not me. I don't care nothing about the production side of the welding part because it's repetitive, and it's just it don't go anywhere. You get to a certain status on that part of it, and then it's only way to move up is become some kind of manager, and that's not really what I want. I like welding, fabricating, building things. Maybe the manager part would be my thing.
Yeah.
Down the road once I can't see no more.
Yeah.
But it's I work for a guy now that I've been there 15 going on 15 years in this month. But I also do my welding business on the side.
Yep.
The Carolina Fab Works. I do basically whatever I can get my hands in that I know I can do, from handrails to gates, welding repairs, any kind of structural repairs, equipment repairs.
Yeah.
I just I want to be versatile. I like the shop I'm at now. I know how to run lasers, water jets, benders, you name it, I can do it. It's just a matter of making the time to build my side up to where I can do it full time. It's very hard. If anybody tells you it's easy, not sure how, but I work harder now between the full time and doing the side business, I mean, it's very. Some days I question it. I mean, I have been out installing handrails till dark in the rain,
Yeah.
and it's like you get home, you ask your wife, is this really, really worth it? I always question it, but I mean, the following day, it's all gone out the window, and I'm like, yep, let's figure out somewhere else to go. Let's do it. We're constantly trying to get new customers. Like I said, I started doing the ebook thing. I tried to share bits and pieces when it comes to that stuff. It's just another way for me to put out something. I think it's inexpensive for some knowledge to get, beginners or people that want to do it in a direction and like an easy way to start, not just like, I didn't really have anyone to look up to say, hey, if you do this, this, and this, this is how you do it. This is what you want to start with.
Yeah.
I didn't have all that, so whatever I can give back, I want to give back.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say to everybody, I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I'm far from the dumbest. But I also I think my ultimate skill is I can look at a drawing and come up with easier ways to lay it out, to make jigs, to make the layout part easier, to where
Yep.
you're more efficient of putting the parts together or your handrail together. I can visualize it more just looking at the drawing for a few minutes to where, all right, this is where I want to start. This is what I want to lay out first. And then that way I can build off of it. I know a lot of people struggle with that. Drawings depends on, I think, where it comes from, who draws them. They're very hard to read, especially with hidden lines. People don't know about the hidden lines part. The welding symbols are very confusing sometimes. It's a lot to learn. I mean, like I said, I got going on 20 years, and
Yeah.
I feel that I've barely scratched the surface of the actual fabricating welding side. Because I mean, I think anybody can be a welder or call themselves a welder. I really do think the fabricating part is very hard. I mean, I think you have to have skill on both sides. You can't be one-sided. And I mean, I know these young kids that do the school thing, certain schools, I mean, they don't really show them things. I mean, because I've had a few people come through and I'm trying to get them started, and they got 3 years in welding school and have no idea how to set a machine.
Yeah, I agree with that. I went to trade school and did all that, but I didn't know how to do anything until I actually started working in a
Right.
shop, right? I mean, and you go back to passing knowledge on. I had 2 notebooks taped together back to back, but if I laid out a flange for a chimney stack and welded the pieces and then drilled all the holes, I made a drawing, I made notes. So if I ever did that job again, because I wasn't a production welder, I've been a production welder, but in my younger days, it was, hey, whatever come in the shop, we were on
Right.
it,
That's
right?
right.
I mean, I'd be welding up rollers and then going into rotary cow sheds and replacing rollers one day,
Yep.
and then be back on an inland rig,
Yep.
welding a couple of pins, waiting 12 hours for a couple of pins to come in.
Yep.
But, it does help with the knowledge when you're not doing all that high production work and you're jumping from different jobs
Yep.
like that. So, yeah, I do.
I try to make notes on jobs that I know it's repetitive down the road. It's just little small things will help you on the next one. I mean, I think, I make mistakes just like anybody else does, but
Oh, yeah.
it's like I get frustrated when I mess up because, it's like something that nobody ever wants to do, but it's like, you got in a hurry because I'll be 3 steps ahead, and then that's how I'll mess up. And it's like, slow down, do what you do, and time that little bit of time is not going to make or break it. You're still going to be efficient. You just got to slow your mind down to where you're wanting to get it done and go on to something else.
Yeah.
Get the part out the door for the customer. But it's like, just take a few seconds to make sure you're read the drawing right. Don't overlook something. Because normally, usually I'll put everything together, tack everything together, have it all assembled. That way, if anything is wrong, you just got to cut a tack loose.
Yep.
I have had people where they weld the frame together before they put all the parts in. Well, then it's drew one way or the other or all directions, and the part fit.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now we got to cut it loose. And that the school don't teach you that. I didn't. I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
You go in there in early 20s, mid 20s, and hey, I can do this, do that, I can weld. And then you go to welding, and then everything's pulled. It's like, huh? So everything you thought you knew is like disappeared, and it's like you're brand new. And it's like, man.
Yeah. What side am I going to start welding on?
That's right.
So, and what side am I going to do next? Right.
Yeah, that's a very hard thing I think for very young people to learn is how to stagger your welds, how to jump around to keep it from drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some days you don't physically see it draw, but I mean it moves, and then they question of why it did that. Just like if you got a gap on one side and it's tied on the other side, if you weld the gap side first, she's going to try to close that gap.
Yeah. So what made you choose welding over other trades? Did you have a look at any other trades, or did you just like
it actually when I did construction, I did the metal framing, hanging sheetrock, all that. Well, we did commercial buildings. We framed the outside so the brick mason can do their thing. Well, of course, we're there early in the stages. Well, you still seen all the welders. They all come out. To me, it's like the coolest people in the world. They're all. I mean, that's the way I seen it. In my early 20s, I'm like, I think I want to be one of those people. I mean, it's like their job is very different day to day. It changes. It's not like a one set thing all the time. It's not like sitting in the office. It's like something different. And my early 20s, I like the travel thing. I like going to different places and traveling and seeing different things. But see, I'm not into that now because I have a wife, kids. All the things, and they're 6 years old, so it's like they're excited about what I do. They'll FaceTime me at work, want me to show them what I'm building. I'll show them a drawing, and then later on that day I'll show them where I've got it to. And my youngest is like amazed how I take it from the drawing and show it actual in person.
That's pretty cool. That is good though, because I remember when I was young, I think I started my first job at 18 in the shop after I finished up with trade school, and then I thought it was so awesome to go sit on a job site somewhere drinking a cup of coffee until a truck come in, and then you run in, weld that thing up, and you were done and gone for the day, man. I was like, man, this is unreal, and they pay you for this. And then another thing is I started as a gate fabricator trainee, so I used to make all the gates and handrails
Right.
for a town I lived in, and then the older ladies would come out and get you a cup of tea or something and some cookies and whatnot, and you'd be, oh man, that, it is a good job, man. No matter, and it's always different, right?
Oh yeah,
So
it's always different. I mean, I would have never thought where I'm at today when I first started. This where I'm at today was never in my mind. I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah,
was just looking at, welding looks cool. Let's try it. I started liking it, and it just kind of snowballed. After that, it's like, when they threw me in the mix of doing handrails, I mean, I was lost. I had no idea where to begin, how to start it, what to look
yeah.
for. I mean, literally. And then the more I got it, it came easier. So the shop I worked at then, when I first started, they actually put me out going to customers' houses, measuring, getting all the things. And the other guys, I would bring what I got to them. I mean, so my job had to be just as good as theirs because they was going off my drawing and my
Yeah,
measurements.
yeah,
So anything that didn't fit, it's coming back to me, and it's like, you know. So
definitely.
I try to do way more than possible needed for a job. That way, I got more numbers, more measurements, angles, whatever, to where anything pops up, I got it. I don't have to travel back to the job site or the customer's house, get some more numbers. So I try to do as much or more per customer or measurement, anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. Because I'm telling you now, when I was in high school, I hated math. I thought, man, this is stupid, But when I started welding and going out and measuring handrails and gates, and then building curb adapters for going on other curbs and on buildings, you're like, oh dang, man, I wished I had paid a lot more attention
Oh yeah,
during math, right?
oh
It'd
yeah.
be
And see, that's the
so
bad thing is I didn't like math in school, and that's what I tell my kids. It's like I didn't like math, and here I am in a career that does thousands,
yeah.
all the formulas, how to get angles and radiuses and all the things. It's like, what was I thinking? Why didn't I pay attention more to where it would be easier to me?
Ah, I know. Because when I went to trade school, I had to do calculus, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I got out of high school, man. And you know,
Yeah,
I'm like, are you kidding me? But every day we're using it. See, I've been off the tools for a while, but I still got my own equipment, and I go out every now and then and do a job for somebody or help a buddy out on the weekend, right?
yeah,
But yeah, you don't realize how much of that stuff you use, man.
yeah.
But what's a typical day look like for you in the shop? So when you go in the shop, what's a typical day look like for you?
Typical day would be probably just like today. It was kind of wasn't really an easy day. It's kind of like a short flip flopping between two or three jobs,
Yeah.
waiting on parts, getting everything to a point to where it's ready for the next set. We do a bunch of repairs for a large lumber company here.
Mm-hmm.
We also do quite a bit of work for Michelin.
Yeah.
We do a bunch of work for those, but it's
Nice.
different every day. But I mean, some of the job is even though it's a repair, we still
Mm-hmm.
have like high carbon to normal A36 1018. We have to know the procedures on that kind of stuff. Um, I know a few people that they brought in never even. I mean, they don't know the different types of metal, so it's hard. Some days it's hard to figure out what the actual metal
Mm-hmm.
is. We have to do a few tests You know, normally we'll tack the corner and try to file it down to see. We have a file set
Yeah.
that will, if it's 1018, the file's gonna take the weld out. Normally,
Hmm.
high carbon, she's slick as glass, and she's she's not even gonna scratch the surface. So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
some material that comes in, we just had to figure out what it is. But I mean, that I think that is interesting to me. Out of all things, is the processes of how to put the different types of metals together, from high carbon to, like I said, 836. We do a bunch of 1045, 1044
Hmm.
to 836. We used to build axles for a government company that
Yeah.
had 1044 uh, axle pins to uh, A500 4-inch square tubing.
Mm.
So we actually preheated the pins overnight. We had them on in an oven overnight
Yeah.
to even out the temperature, even though it was around 150 degrees when I come into work, and I still put the heat into it, but it was more evenly throughout the part than just getting it up over 600 degrees, 700 degrees
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
area you're going to weld. So, I mean, it was more efficient that way, trying to keep it warm overnight to even out the temperature than just the two ends, say 100 degrees compared to over 700 to 1,000 in the center where you're welding. I mean, that
Hmm.
helped a lot. I didn't, I had to do research on that part.
Do you,
That was
do
new.
you use stick welding a little bit when you're doing that sort of stuff?
I have,
Like using the 7018 rods or so?
we also have, trying to think of the name of it. Chronotron is the brand, but it's very high dollar uh, consumables. The stick rods were
Okay.
phenomenal. The
Yeah.
wire, I mean, it's over $1,200 for a box of 35-pound wire, and
Man.
it welds very bad. And I've
Yeah.
talked to all the reps from Air Gas to Arc 3 to people they use, the actual CWI guys, but they tell me no matter if you got 5 years experience to over 20 years experience with this wire, you could buy 20 rolls of it. 5 of it may do what you want it to do.
Yeah.
If,
Yeah.
no matter if you spray it, I've tried it all ways from running it hot with the wire running low, vice versa, trying to even it out. It just looks like no matter if you preheat it, it just looks like it sits right on top. It don't. I mean, it looks really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get like, I mean, it's like it'll weld like you want it to. It'll lay down.
Yeah.
As soon as you turn around and do another weld, it just boogers up. It just lays on top. Looks really bad.
Those are days when I usually use my welding helmet go flying across the shop.
Oh, I've been there,
It'll
but it's
be
like it's so frustrating because it's like you know what you're doing, but why is it
yeah.
not doing what you want it to do? And then
Oh,
when they tell you it's like, well, that wire is very overpriced. And I was like, so what is the equivalent to this wire that I don't have to have the company spend $1,200 for a roll that you can't even lay in there
yeah.
to even hold it together? But there are several wires and all the stuff that's has the same capabilities at a third of the price, if that. I mean, it's a night and day difference.
Yeah.
But
I still do a lot of stick welding from time to time because, you know, sometimes it's easier when you're on site as well. And it depends on what you do because
right,
last job I did was a bunch of roll off dumpsters.
Yeah.
So I just threw a bunch of rods at that thing.
Oh yeah.
And I still enjoy stick welding.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Well, I like all processes. I mean, I think I would say MIG is like my least favorite because that's what I do all the time.
yeah.
I mean, we do a bunch of stainless countertops, anywhere from 18 gauge to 14 gauge stainless that I TIG weld. We make sinks in the countertops. I mean, we even have we made a die that will do the V, and the drain will plunge the hole in it for your drain
Yeah.
with the crimps in it to where the water will drain to the hole.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done all that. I mean, I like the tedious stuff, and then also, and I would say stick welding is probably the favorite that I like to do because I just don't think everybody can do it.
No, it's that's like I did a couple of jobs and a lot of it was vertical ups, and there's not a lot of people who can do vertical up,
Right.
regardless with it. And then you throw in a 77 rod, right, and do a vertical up. Everybody tries to go for the multi-purpose. I think it may be a 6013 rod, general purpose rod, right? Because that's forgiving. You can do anything with a 6013.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, it even says you can run it downhill. So, I mean, it's like if I can't get it to work going up, let me try going back down. That way I can get on down where it don't glob up on me.
Yeah. Because I did have a question. I was going to ask, what type of welding do you specialize in? I've got MIG, TIG, and stick.
Yeah, I do all three.
Yeah.
We mainly do MIG at the shop.
Yeah.
And normally what I do on the side of mine is I normally MIG everything because it's normally handrails. But handrails is a big part of what I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like the aluminum TIG welding. I mean, I think not everybody can do that. It's very unforgiving, just like the stainless. There's a few tricks, if a younger guy's doing it at work.
Man, I'd prefer to TIG weld aluminum all day than use a spool gun. Right.
I agree with that. I started out with a spool gun. That was the most aggravating thing I've ever had to use. And it's like you don't even have to manipulate it. It automatically comes out. I mean, it's already doing its thing coming out of that spool gun. It's like, and then these younger kids don't even know what a spool gun is. They're like, I've never seen one.
Yeah.
But it's like I would think I would like for the schools to teach them a lot more, especially like the community schools, because I mean it's a very good career for these kids. But the downside is I think a lot of these young kids see all this stuff on Instagram, like the pipe welders, rig welders, all the things, they have all the top-notch stuff, but it's like,
but there's a lot of work to be a pipe welder now because
that's right. They just see the end product.
Yeah, first you got to make that list, and then second, you got to be able to stay on the top of that list because if you come down, you're not getting called for them jobs.
That's right. I mean, it's just like they just think, oh, I go to this school, I get through this school, I pass this school, I'm automatically going to be a pipe welder. I mean, it's not that easy. I mean, yes, for some people, you might get in the door that quick, but I mean, your skills is going to have to keep you in them doors. It's not going to be just because I went to that school.
Yeah. I've seen a few. I've seen a couple of girls that were pipe welders, and she was welding pipe on the other side of the shop, and I was welding pipe on the other side of the shop. But she was a dang good welder.
Okay.
She was a good at doing the TIG, doing her second pass and everything, and the cap, and I'm like, man, she was good.
Yeah.
Now, What's the most challenging project that you've worked on? It doesn't have to be now or in the past,
Um,
just something.
I would say the most challenging was the very first spiral staircase I've ever done.
I've never done a spiral staircase.
I've only done one. Well, I was a part of one when I first started at the first shop. They
Yeah.
made it for a house. I mean, it was like mind blowing that the guys working on it. I mean, they would fit it, form it, all the things. On they would weld the pipe, the actual centerpiece pole to their table, however high it went up,
Mhm.
and they would actually build it as they went up. They made it all. I mean, it was just mind blowing. But it's like there is no. Then it was no formula to make. It was like this is what we're doing. This is how they lay it out. They lay out. We make the steps. We get the steps laid out like it calls out, and then we start doing the pickets and the balusters, and then the handrail, and then they just form it all to make it look one piece. I mean, it's just mind
Yeah.
blowing.
Yeah. It
But I
definitely
would
is.
say a spiral staircase is very challenging, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure there's people that do it on a regular basis that's their favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I know a company here in Charlotte, and they do some spirals, and
I mean, to me, that's a
yeah,
challenging thing, especially if you've never done one or been a part of one. It's like just a lot to. It's not just like a normal stair railing.
sometimes that's a job you'd want to send out.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't. It wouldn't hurt my feelings by any means.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
Uh, mhm.
I do think people should take challenges or get somebody that has a little bit more experience, or if not a lot more experience, to where you say, hey, I'd like to learn. There's some people that will be open to that, and then there's some people that's like, I don't really have time, and I understand
Yeah,
that part. But I do think the young kids should push themselves more than what they do, than just, well, now I'm a welder because I come out of this school. I mean,
mhm.
I just think that's a whole misconception of the trades. Is they just think because I go to trade school or some kind of school, I'm automatically considered that.
Yeah,
To
and
me, I mean, that's just the beginning. I mean, that's just like saying, hey, I know the basics now. I mean, it's
yeah,
not really
yeah,
that I don't really have experience. It's just like I have the basic knowledge of how to push a puddle and watch a puddle, that kind of thing. I've never built nothing, so I mean,
that's enough to get you started,
that's right.
right?
And then the hard work really begins because you have to stay motivated. I mean, I
Yeah,
think this industry is you have to stay motivated. You have to be a self motivated person to constantly get up every day to push yourself, especially doing your own thing, to drive yourself to build something, um, to learn, to keep learning all the things. I mean, it's a very mentally draining industry,
yeah,
and
yeah,
if you don't stay motivated, I mean, I just don't think you'll make it. Because I mean, I've
yeah,
had hard days. I have hard days now. I mean, it's very hard, but I mean, it's like you also got to look where you started and where you're at. It's like you came a long way, and
exactly. Yeah,
you do know something in this industry. You know how to do things that other people can. I mean, that
yeah.
in itself should motivate you. Is like, not everybody can do what I do.
No, no. Um, have there been any near disasters or any funny shop moments you'll never forget?
Um, well, I would say the only disaster that I've had, I smashed my finger.
Yeah, yeah,
One of my thumbs with the shear. Well, let me rephrase that. I was shearing off a stainless plate. It had probably a half-inch boss welded on it that I was cutting
yeah.
off. Well, I thought I measured out far enough. So what it did, it barely clipped the boss. So it kicked the part up, and then
Okay.
the plungers pushed it
Yeah.
back down. So as I was doing this number on the corners, it lifted up. This thumb went under, and then as the plungers hit down, it smashed one of my thumbs between the stainless 1/4-inch plate and the
Oh,
actual
buddy.
sheared table.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was probably that's the only time I've really been hurt on a job or in this profession. You know, you get your normal burns and sparks
Oh,
and
yeah.
things. You know,
You
I'm
know,
sure everybody's hit the grinder, you know, where I call it, where it brings your skin down to the white meat, you know, right before it
yeah,
bleeds,
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
cauterizes it. I mean, I think everybody's been to that point.
Yeah, I've been
But I
there.
mean, I would
Yeah.
say the worst one is me smashing my finger. You know, it's one of those things that, of course, I'm just like any other person. You
Yeah.
know, just wrap it up. Just wrap it up. Got things to do. You know, I couldn't
Yep.
ever stop bleeding.
Put
I mean,
some paper towels on there,
oh
some
yeah,
duct tape, and
I tried
away
it
you
all,
go.
and then I actually had to finally went to the ER, and then they cleaned it and stitched it up and all the things. You know, of course, you know, you get the lecture from the big
Yeah.
boss.
Yeah.
And
The only I hurt myself at home once, but in New Zealand we have these boots called Texans,
right,
right? For some reason you can't get them here. But every welder, and I was a young kid, right? But all the guys that welded on the oil rigs and did the offshore and inshore, they all had these Texan boots on. They tucked their jeans into them, and I'm like, man, I'm a welder now. I'm going to do the same. I tell you what, I was doing a vertical weld, and I had some sparks, and that dropped down inside my boot. I dragged my boot off, and I had a big scar down my foot. And I'm like, man, you know, they yeah, them boys are tough, man.
oh yeah,
I'm telling you.
I agree.
Oh, man. Um, so what's your go-to piece of equipment in the shop when you're fabricating?
I would say would be I would say the press brake,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
very versatile to where, I mean, you can get it to where you can step bend parts to where you can actually roll it instead of using the actual roller. I made some guards a couple weeks ago
mm-hmm.
that I had to step bend because the roller that we had, the slip roller, it's so far apart from the rollers itself, so it's like a 6-inch gap, around 6-7 inches gap. So as you're trying to roll, it puts a flat spot in it.
Yeah, yeah,
Hard.
yeah,
No matter how many times you turn it and all the things, it evens out a little bit. But also, I took what I know, went to the press brake, did a step bend kind of layout, and actually just guessed at like 3 degrees. Just kept forming it back and forth,
yeah,
where it made it look exactly where it needed to be. I think a press brake is very versatile, not just bending a part. I mean, there's other ways, all kind of different brackets you can make from it. But I mean, the other one would be a Scotchman. We have a Scotchman at the shop.
yeah,
It's very versatile. Saves a lot of times from drilling holes. You can punch holes, slots. I mean, all the things to where it's way faster than trying to mill it or just hand drill it.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but I mean, I think those are a very key piece of equipment in a shop.
yeah, yeah,
I don't think. I mean, I started at the shop that I'm at. I mean, we had a press. We had 2 presses and 2 shears,
yeah,
and I don't really know what it was called. It was I called it a nibbler, where you made the center and you could turn it and it would just nibble like you would cut a square piece of sheet metal into a circle.
Oh yeah.
But I
Yeah,
mean, we did things. I mean, like I said, I've been there almost 15 years. We would make things to build whatever came in the door. I mean,
mm-hmm.
we didn't buy no tooling, all this high dollar tooling we didn't buy. It's like, well, we got enough skills here and we can figure out, take a piece of pipe and make a fixture and make a press, make our own tool for the press. I mean, we did all that. No matter what came in the
Yeah,
door, I mean, we made it work. I mean, yes, you look at it now, it's like, how in the world did you make money doing that? Because I mean, like I said, the press that the owner had, and he still has it, we still use it. You hit the stops. Well, if you had a different bend, you would have to hit the hold button, walk around to the back side, move the stops out of your way, bend your part, then reset the stops. I mean, that was a manual thing. We didn't have CNC presses then. Now we got a CNC, and it's like you can do. It would take me almost a third of a day to bend 8 countertops at 8 foot long
yeah.
to put them together.
I
Now it would take me a quarter of a day just to bend it because I
look,
wouldn't have to sit here and change the stops back and forth.
yeah. I think back in 99, 2000, we made commercial sinks, countertops, stuff like that. But I tell you what, you could do hundreds and thousands of dollars just with a notcher, a
Yep.
shear, and a press brake.
Yep.
And you'd be amazed at how much work you can get through a shear, a notcher, and you're just making stainless steel tables all day long.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, you know, of course, the press brake. It wasn't, I work with the Mitsubishi press brakes, so it's back then I had an old Herco,
Yep.
controller. Now you can just draw whatever you want on it or send it with the program and everything, and it's good to go. So, what's your opinion on automation and welding, robotic welding, and stuff like that?
I think it has its purpose.
Yeah,
I still don't think. I mean, the ones I've been around. I mean, the person that programs them has to know a little bit of what they're doing. But I
yeah,
also think I don't see it taking the actual welder away.
no,
There is a lot of places the automation robots won't be able to get into. I mean, I still think I think it has its purpose. Like if I feel that it's more efficient in a production shop,
yeah, yeah.
to where if you did certain parts all day long, that would be ideal. You
Not
hire.
not in a fab shop where you're changing from day to day because you might
I mean,
be jumping.
I think it would take you longer to get that robot to weld where you want it to weld.
Yeah,
You just putting it together and you doing it yourself.
yeah,
But like I said, I think it's a good part, but I don't think it's going to be like what people think it is. I don't think it's going to take the actual welder fabricator out of the way because I mean you still have to have people to run it.
yeah. And
And
sometimes I think you need a skilled fabricator
well,
welder
yeah,
to
I
run it.
mean you'll have to because I mean everybody, just like I said, everybody's not going to be able to read that drawing. You'll have to know how to program that robot and also read the drawing to understand where to tell it to weld at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to have to. I mean, you'll have to be mentally skilled, I would say, of how to do it. But I mean, it's just not going to be a overnight success. I don't think.
Well, what do you think separates a good welder from a great one? That, that, that's
I would say it's the way you think. I think it's the mind, and I think everybody should have the mentality to where you leave your ego at the door.
hmm
I think the ego is I've seen it firsthand. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I would say that is I would love to work with people way smarter than me, that has way more years than me, does way more than I ever thought about doing. That way, I see other ways how to do it. Then I can figure out how to do it. I can learn that skill compared to what I already got. You'll
Mhm.
constantly learn more every day. Um, I just think if you're not willing to learn, no matter how long you've been doing this stuff, I think you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
And I also think if you could help somebody, my thing is I would help anybody that I could possibly help in their skills, in their welding, changing. I can watch somebody weld and tweak them just a little bit and help them night and day difference.
Yeah.
The only thing that I ask is you just listen, because I don't want to waste my time. If you're just going to blow it off and not even listen to me, I don't even want to waste my time to even show you.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, I'm all about. I mean, just the ebooks that I got out recently. It's not like the greatest thing ever, but it also it's just enough basics to get people started to understand how things work, how to look at things. But I think the mindset and knowing that no matter how long you're doing it or have done it, you don't know everything, and you're not
No.
going to know everything.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's what I like, because I was curious and I downloaded a couple of ebooks and stuff like
right,
that. And yeah, yeah, really good. And I'm like, man, m- imagine if people were putting this stuff out quite regularly, because we didn't have, well, I know I'm probably a lot older, but I didn't have YouTube back in the day when I was 18, 17,
right.
15, right? So now people can look this stuff
Oh
up
yeah, you can look it up.
now.
Just
And
like the Chat GPT thing. I mean, it's mind blowing. Like you can physically take a picture of your drawing or a weld symbol and all the everything in that symbol, and it would literally read it out to you exactly what it's saying. If you don't understand it, it's crazy. I mean, it's just mind blowing to me that
exactly.
it can
And,
read out that specific weld symbol, what it means, what it stands for, all the things, to where
and
back in the days it's like you have to figure out what it's asking you to do. It ain't like, oh, let me look this up right quick, or let me call so and so to help me out. I mean, it's like
yeah, yeah.
you have to know what you're doing.
Well, that's like you can create your own GPT now,
Yeah,
right? So I created one because I was like, let me mess around in here, and I've done a lot. My website has a lot with I've done with Chat GPT and experience and knowledge, right? But I created a GPT and I call it the AI Fabricator.
right,
So I can click on that and I can ask it, and here it's saying, what's the K factor for 16 gauge bent at 45 or what have you, or how do I calculate a weld throat thickness? This is all in this GPT you can create. It's
right.
amazing stuff, man. Be for sure, you know. But yeah, yeah, it's crazy how the industry has changed a lot, and I'm sure it's changed since you started,
Oh yeah,
right?
oh yeah, it has.
Um,
I mean, like I said, I think the only downfall that I see is the younger generation just think it's easy because yes, you can make a lot of money. You can make really good money. But I mean, you're going to have to work for it. I mean, it's just not going to come to you just because you got a piece of paper or I don't know. I just think it's a lot more to it than just being a welder or a fabricator. I think it's
yeah,
a lot more than just having that title. To me, I think you earn that title, but I mean, your work
yeah,
will give you that title.
yeah. Um, what certifications or skills you think a new welder should focus on? So you got new welders like my son. I was working with him. I let him play around on a laser welder.
Yeah.
And he did some perfect beads, and he says, "Oh, I want to try and get into welding, Dad." So I brought him home and put him straight on TIG welding, aluminum and stuff like that. He's like, "Dang, this stuff is hard, right?" But I feel if you can pick up on the hard stuff and start to get somewhere with it,
if you start with the aluminum and you can get it dialed in, the rest of it to me is like, because I mean, you can't physically see the aluminum get hot. You know, once it gets to the melting point, she deteriorates. I mean, regardless of how long you've been doing it, if you slow down just enough and it's a lot of heat there, she will disappear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you can control that and you get it dialed in, you know, you got to look at, you know, aluminum's very dirty. I mean, it's got to be super clean. You got to do a lot of prep work. And then some, even after the prep, I mean, it's still don't weld the greatest after you've done all the preps and all the things. I mean, you just have to roll with it. You have to adjust your machine. You have to know where to adjust it. But I do think doing the hard ones first, you know, I think aluminum TIG welding is a very hard skill to master. I mean, just like stainless is very unforgiving. You get it too hot, it's going to crystallize, and it's going to be the worst thing you've ever seen.
But if you could dial that hardest part in first, and then, hey, you jump on a MIG welder. And my son's got MIG welding down pretty much. Right? He just needs a little, you know, because I made him sit there and I put big exhaust pipes on the table and had him TIG weld all them together because, that stuff will disappear on you once.
Well, you got to look also. I mean, the MIG welding is you're pulling a trigger and all you're really doing is moving the gun. MIG welding, you're doing both hands. And then stick welding, you're also moving multiple directions.
Yeah.
The rod and, you know, whatever you're trying to do. I mean, it's constantly you're watching the puddle, but you also got to push your rod into it and all the things. So, I mean, it takes a lot of skill mentally to do two things at once than just pulling the trigger. I mean, I think anybody can consider themselves a welder by pulling the trigger. I think it just comes down to looks. At the end of the day on a MIG gun, you know, what looks better compared to this one. But I think the real skill is TIG welding to where you have to, both hands have to work together. And like I said, the stick welding's a whole animal in itself because, I mean, it looks easy, but I mean, it's very unforgiving also. I mean, it's, you know, everybody sees, like I said, on Instagram, all the nice things. I was like, but when you hit it yourself, it's like, ooh, I'm way far from that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they get the misconception it's easy. Yes, eventually it will be considered easy to you. But I mean, I think they don't really understand how much skill you got to have to do what we do.
Yeah, because everybody goes on Instagram and they see people put a mirror piece of stainless down on a 1/2-inch aluminum block or something, and then they're drawing this artwork and TIG torching. You know, they got a bigger cup so they could get the gas and make it go blue, yellow, all the multicolorations, and it looks good, man. But dang, that's a lot of time and effort goes into that stuff. It
like
doesn't
everybody don't show you the behind the scenes of like what it takes to get to that point, you know, or, you know, like to have all the nice things they see is like, oh, you know, that's all I got to do is take welding school and then I'll come out and I'll have all the money and this and that and I can buy this and that. But really, like I said, it comes back to, I think, motivation. Because I mean, you have to be self-motivated or somewhat self-motivated to constantly get up every day, no matter working in the cold, the heat, all in between. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, not just physically, it's a lot mentally because, I mean, when you drop that hood, there's nobody in there but you. I mean, it's
To
me, it's very lonely because, I mean, it's like it's just you. I mean, you have to make
you just go into your own world, man. You're
Have
deep
to.
in thought, man. And because I remember I was inside this massive chimney stack, right? And I was the one in the middle. Now, granted, I don't know what my lungs were going to be looking like at the end of the day when everybody else was on the far end. But yeah, you just in that zone and you just start and go, turn the stack around, keep going again. And you're just in there yourself, just thinking about everything. And
Everything under the sun. It's like you just got to fade everything else out, concentrate on what you're doing. Because, like I said, I mean, there's nobody to ask. I mean, it's like you have to be motivated. You have to stay wanting to learn. Because, like I
yeah,
said, at the end of the day, you have to put out your skills to do the job. And like I said, if you can't do it, most companies is not going to keep you around. I mean, it's very hard to you'll find somebody, a company willing to work with you, especially brand new, to where they show you the ropes a little bit. I mean, we have done that.
hmm
Normally, it falls on in my lap doing that, but I mean, it's like it's very hard on me because it puts me behind trying to show them. Like I said, I don't mind showing them. I mean, I like to help people if I can help them. It's just a matter of them processing it and wanting to learn it. Because I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you can't just throw everything at them at one time. I mean, you have to see
No.
what they're struggling at, and then that's normally what I ask them. Where are you struggling at? What do you think's the hardest thing? And it's like the other guy was MIG welding, and he as he moved, he didn't manipulate the puddle. That's very new to me because I've always manipulated it somehow. He's one of the ones that said he just goes from one side to the other. I said, you don't manipulate it at all? He's like, nope. I'm like, well, that's new to me. I have to get used to that part. I said, I'm not sure how you can be consistent without manipulating it a little bit. And I said, and as I watched him, the nozzle kept getting higher. So I mean, he started really close, and then within an inch in, he's already a half inch up, and then another inch in, he's another half inch up. So he started getting porosity, and I'm like, well, stop. I'm like, as soon as you start getting porosity, I said, we got to stop. I said, we need to grind that back out. And I said, why are you raising it? He's like, well, I can't see it. I said, so I was told years ago, you do the ABCs of welding. Always be comfortable.
Yeah.
I said, man, you put yourself in a position, you do dry runs, try to figure out where it's gonna give you the trouble at. I said, you adjust to it, and then you start welding. I said, don't adjust after you start welding. I said, always get comfortable before you start. Figure out where it's gonna put you in a bind. And I said, if you have to stop, you stop. I said, but we just don't force it because it makes it look worse because, I mean, it's not consistent. And I always was taught, just like if I do a frame and the customer's looking for it, looking at it, if all the welds are the same, everything looks consistent, they don't look as hard. You get what I'm saying? It's like as a fabricator, you mess up, you know how to fix it to where the customer wouldn't know I messed up.
Yeah.
So it's like you make all the welds consistent, everything looks the same. They'll just look at it. Oh man, it looks good. And they go on about their business. Well, you get it to where I had a guy adjust his machine as he welded on the part. He would make a weld, he didn't like it, he'd adjust it, make another weld on the other side of the part, didn't like it, he adjusted some more. So it's like already we got two different welds on the same part. And you're going to have probably 2 or 3 more. And I told him, I was like, get a piece of scrap, same thickness, kind of dial it in like you like it, and then weld the part. I said, man, we never adjust it or change it or make changes on the fly as you're welding on the part. I said, it's very hard to fix it. It's very hard to clean it up to where, especially on aluminum, I don't like grinding aluminum. I like the welds to be clean, slick. So it's like you work harder trying to stay consistent where everything looks the same to where you don't have to sand it. Because I feel if you sand one joint, you have to sand them all. And I said,
Yeah.
that part I don't like. I like for everything to look consistent, make it look good to where you don't have to sand it unless it calls out that it needs to be sanded down flush,
Yep.
that kind of thing. But it's like if they ain't calling it out, I like for it to be seen. I like for it to be nice as possible, all consistent. But I mean, that in itself, I think is very hard for people to understand. It's like they don't see the details, the little details like that really stand out after it's all said and done. Just like, they don't teach them young kids how to grind. I think that's a big part. They should teach them, how to actually grind metal.
Yeah.
Where you don't.
If you're gonna grind, learn how to grind it
That's right.
properly.
I mean,
because I had a boss, and if he seen you grinding a weld, man, he would pick that grinder up and throw it across the shop. He'd
right.
be furious.
Yeah, but I also think is on the repair work that we machine back down, we'll build it up, especially like rollers or different kind of shafts that's wore out over time. The bearings let loose. We'll build them up, and then they'll put them in the lathe, turn them back down, put new keyways and all the things in it.
Mm.
But it's like, some of them is too big to fit in the machine we got, so we have built them up, and then we'll hand sand them down to where we'll have the bearing that goes with it. We'll test it, make sure everything fits right. But those jobs I think is very hard in itself, because even though you build it up and it's going to come right back off, but if you sand it, don't know what you're doing, I mean, that makes that job twice as hard, because more than likely you're going to have to add more weld to it, because you're going to have a dip. It's not going to be consistent. It's all the things. I mean, that's the part I don't think they understand either, is when they grind parts, and then especially if they get powder coated or painted, all the imperfections stand out way, way more when it comes back from powder. It's like it's very unforgiving. I mean, it looks clean. As soon as that paint hits it, I mean, it's like a night and day difference. It's like, oh my God.
It shows everything.
Oh, it shows every flaw, every dip, scratch, all the things that you thought you hid.
Yeah. Looks well, now as we wrap this up, I wanted to tell us about your Instagram, your TikTok, and tell us what you're doing with what you got and the information you're sharing with people. And I'm going to put all the links to your information in the description as well. But I think it's great what you're doing. And I think if you can share it with the guys out here that are getting into welding, maybe they can flick you a message and say, hey, Yeah,
that'd be great. I mean, people can message me, Instagram, TikTok, however. But I mean, usually I just put out what I build on my Instagram. It's just certain things at the shop I can't put out. But not majority of the stuff on Instagram is everything is I build it. It's just mostly my work on Instagram. Every once in a while, I'll do a post for my ebooks or whatever that I just started. But mostly TikTok is
for the where you've got the ebooks and that.
Is
now
for that.
You've got an ebook here on how to build a full-time welding brand. Digital welding plans are available. I've seen a couple of DXFs and one on level up your welding skills.
Yep.
I mean,
like I said, it's just the most I put into, like the railing and the fire pit ebook. It was the first two that I did.
Yeah.
So I made it simple. It's not extravagant. It's not. But the how to build a welding brand. I took a lot of time to make that one. I tried to do all the steps from how to call customers, how to follow back up with customers, seeing their reviews on stuff you've done for them, like your spreadsheets on how to bid on jobs, how to keep up with material, how to actually make a bid for a job, how to come up with all the prices, what you feel is efficient for you. I think no matter where you're at, the person just like me, my rate is probably different than other people's. I don't really try to chase what other people are charging. I try to do it where I don't gouge people by any means. I give them whatever I charge is I do the best of my abilities possible. But I don't want to short myself just to get a job.
Yeah.
Or, if you break even, to me, it's not worth it. Just because of, time away from family, the time you spent figuring the job, getting material, all the things
it's got to be
adds up.
profitable.
If you skimp out, you'll be the one that loses from it. The customer, I think it just depends on the customer and what they think it's worth. But I also look at it at the end of the day, the customer don't do what I do. Yes, they'll probably want the best deal possible, but I think whatever you charge the customer, you stand behind your work. You do what you tell them you're going to do. Don't ever short yourself is number one, I think. Even if they think you're high, that's fine. You're not going to get every customer that calls you or wants you to do a job for them. Of course, you're going to be too high.
Yeah.
But I look at it, I used to, when I first started doing it, it's like, well, maybe I am too high. I can always question it. But now it's like, I see the effects on both sides to where I have broke even. And it's like, I did a lot of work for nothing. I look at it that way because I didn't profit anything from it, but the only thing that I profited from was a satisfied customer and a potential another customer from them down the road. That's really what I got. And that's the way I looked at it, but also look at it as try not to short yourself because, at the end of the day, they're either going to go with you or not. I just think your work should stand out for whatever you charge. I think if you do good work, you charge what you want. If they don't like it, you just have to accept that and you move on.
Yeah, or the best way to do it really is work out your overhead. You've got to include what it, I know if I was going to quote a job, I need to quote as also add money for replacing my equipment. Buying a welder nowadays is not that cheap.
Right.
Not if you're buying a Miller or a Lincoln.
Right. You also gotta look at fuel for your machine. You gotta look at drive time. You gotta look at materials. All the things that adds up. You have to have a price for that. They don't ever look at the details of what actually goes in the process of doing it. They just
because I seen something on Facebook the other day where someone dropped the $50 down to $20.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, I get it that you want to get a job for a customer and get the customer. I get that, but it's like you're shorting yourself because you're going to spend more than that $20.
Yeah,
it's going to cost you more than just making that $20 at the end of the day.
At that point, you might as well go work in the shop.
That's right. That's right. Because you'll never make it trying to do your own welding business by I don't do deals. I've done railing for family members. I don't cut them a deal just because they're family. I think that's where a lot of people think they have to give them a deal because they're family.
Yeah, I have to give my wife a deal because
that's automatic there. That's automatic. But I just think it's, like I said, I put out those books for this, the basic information, the how to grow your own welding brand. I put a lot of effort in that one. I mean, it's 49 pages. It gives you very detailed information to where if you use it, it will work. I mean, it's not going to be an overnight thing, but I mean, it's very a lot of information that a lot of people overlook.
Yeah.
And I think once you see it and read it, it's like, why didn't I think about that? You know, it breaks it down. I try to break it down to where, you know, starting out, like I said, like doing the fire pits things just to get basics. You know, you can make a couple $100 easy doing stuff like that for your friends. And then, you know, you can get more detailed as you get comfortable with it. You know, of course, your first one or first 2 or 3 won't look the greatest. But I mean, the more you do it, the more efficient you'll be. You'll look at things, your details will change. Just the way you look at projects will change. And like I said, I think that's one of my skills I've learned is I look at the drawing ahead of time. You know, I can stare at the drawing for 10 minutes. I'll get a route to start, and that's where I go. I usually don't second guess it. I know a lot of people that I work with, it's very hard for them to lay out jobs, picture them up, be consistent and efficient. You know, the younger guys want to be in a hurry, but it comes down to, you know, you just work steady and be efficient. You'll be just as fast. I mean, being in a hurry all the time is really going to backfire on you. I just think the younger kids and what I want to put out there and teach people is, you know, just do the basics. I mean, start with the basics. You don't have to jump into the deep end just because your friends you know, been doing it for 10 years. You think you can just walk in the door and do the same thing he can. You can't. I mean, I think you just start where you're at and you work your way up. I mean, I started at the bottom. I mean, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I took a trade school for 6 months, to be honest. I took a welding class for 6 months, and then I got a job in that fab shop. Threw right into railing. Never had a clue how to build a railing by any means. Didn't even have a clue what I was doing. But the guys there got me in the right direction. They was willing to teach me the basics, and I absorbed it. I took it, you know. Yes, of course, it looked like, you know, something off a back alley somewhere. But, I mean, it's like you got to start somewhere. You got to,
you do.
Figure out where to start. Just do the basics. You don't have to rush it. You know, everybody's different. Everybody starts the same. I mean, 2 people with 20 years experience is going to weld. I'm going to weld different than another guy. I'm going to weld different than you. But at the end of the day, you're going to get the finished product, same finished product. It's just my way is the way I did it. Your way is the way. There is no right or wrong way to do it.
No, there's not.
You got to understand it's not a right or wrong way to do it. It's a matter of just being efficient. You build the part like it is on the plan, and if it comes out just like it's supposed to, you done it right. I mean, it's just everybody looks at it a little harder because, like, well, you're doing it this way, I should do it that way. Well, I'm not. My way is maybe harder for you. You know, your way is harder for me. It's like you do what's best for you. If it's easier that way, you go that way. I mean, at the end of the day, all I need is the finished part being where it's at. That's it. There is no book saying, okay, you know, step 1, 2, and 3, this is how you do it. There is none. I mean, you figure it out.
Just get it done.
That's right. I mean, you just have to trust your skills, and you have to build your skills to where no matter what comes in, you'll be able to handle it. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've never seen before, but I don't back away from it. It's like, okay, let's figure it out. Let me see. You know,
I never have either. I'm one of those guys be like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah. It's like, I want it to be hard. I don't want it. That means everybody can't do it. You know, that way that's how you stand out, in my opinion, is you do the hard things that other people won't do.
Yeah, I told a buddy of mine and gave him a call. I said, hey, I got us a job where we can do 13 roll-off dumpsters this weekend. I just told them to line them up in a row, and we'll come in and hit each one, man. We were there for 2 days solid,
That's right.
you know? But, yeah, you just someone's gotta do it, but
Yeah, that's right. You got to have the open mindset, and like I said, you got to be motivated. I mean, you got to realize that everybody can't do what you do, and then you use it. I mean, you use it to your advantage, I think, to where you blow past people that think they can do it because they don't want to. They just want the title.
yeah.
The title is irrelevant to me. I think my work shows for itself, just like anybody else's work shows for itself. If you're committed to doing this kind of work, you want it to look good. I mean, you don't want to. I don't feel right charging somebody for something that I wouldn't accept myself. Because I mean, I'll tell you, my saying is, the younger guys that I work with, I would ask them, would they buy it? So if I built this for you and you're the customer, and I'm gonna sell you this, would you buy it? And they would say, no. I said, well, if you ever tell yourself no, that means it's wrong. That means you need to fix it. I mean, that's the only question, because they're like, what do you think? Would you buy it? That's the question. If you say yes, that means you're satisfied with what you give them. I said, but if you say no, it don't look good. I said, so fix it. That's how you fix it. I mean, that's how you know that if you're telling me you won't buy something you just built, why should you charge the customer?
Yeah.
It's just, to me, that's just a no-brainer.
Man, no, well, I do appreciate you jumping on here.
I appreciate you having me.
I think it's great. And what you're doing and that as well. So I do appreciate it, Eric. And what I'll do is I'll have the links in the description below for everybody. But if you also go to sheetmetaltv.com, I've got a links page in there where I keep important links.
Yep.
Because I like to have links where you've got one place to go where fabricators can go and find it without searching the whole internet. So we'll put it up there as well. So that'll be awesome, man. So I'll let you go out of here, and I'll talk to you in a minute, and I'll just close out this podcast, man.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave some comments. Now, I know there's a couple of trolls out there and said something about the laser welding is fake. Hey, man, it's great. I'm glad you're interacting with us. YouTube likes that. Laser welding, let me be clear, it's application specific. It's not for everybody, but it sure as heck isn't fake. All right. It has its place, and you'll know when and where to use it. And there's places where you don't want to use it, and where it makes sense and it doesn't make sense. All right. But keep the comments coming. I appreciate it. Have a great one. I'll see you on the next one.